Hey everybody, what is up? We are going to just do drafts today for the wildcard weekend. We will mostly be doing them on Underdog. We will also do a splash or two. Uh, I had to go live a little earlier today, had some things going on later, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to get right into it. We're going to start with a wildcat. I done a lot more of these last night than I thought I would. Uh, During the game last night, there was a lot of weird things going on, and if you listen to this now or later, I would recommend if you can draft over on Underdog to at least try tonight during that time. There were some wild things. Like there was a guy auto drafting with Jalen Hurts at the 101, and he passed. He had Goddard on the neck, like basically next, if I think right, because I watched him pass AJ Brown for Goddard back to me from the two hole. So, and I assume things like that may happen again tonight. There'll be more people drinking tonight and drafting. So, I'm gonna probably do a lot of them tomorrow or tonight as well. I'll probably get a lot more of these in than I planned on. Uh, I'm already closer to being done than I thought I would be. So, that is that. What's up, Alex? Alex has the 102. I got the 105. As soon as I stopped streaming last night, I started getting 101, 102 like all the time. And just like last week, as soon as I like while I'm streaming, I just consistently pick at the back. Uh, just consistent. So, but had a few more thoughts. Kind of doing a couple things a little differently. And welcome, Scott Hartman, Crossface. Thanks for everybody for coming in. Yeah, and I mean, Badge Bros literally just is. I think they're currently. They might have just ended. They might be still going. I was listening to them a little bit ago, but red badges are usually out in the middle of the afternoon. Like from like noon to 4, like anytime I do drafts during that time, it's just like red badge city all the time. So I tend to try to save my drafts till later. I know I put my stream time at 4 p.m. Central, but I do think that there's a bigger advantage to drafting later in the evening. This week, I mean, I like the 101. I like the one the one I hate is the 103. I like the 101. I don't mind the 5 and 6. But I have Saquon Barkley ranked 3. So I have 30% Saquon, 32% Saquon right now. I'm planning on ending at 30%. I'm going to make a stand this week on Saquon. I want all kinds of combinations with him. I have less Nico than I would like right now, so I'm going to probably be pulling him around the board a little bit. I've got a bit of James Cook, and I don't love the James Cook and Josh Allen thing. I do think Josh Allen is possible to be the play this week, but I also think it's like I don't know how high I like that. I kind of like the wide receivers or the later quarterbacks a lot. I just think the quarterbacks are all super deep. I mean, I know people are scared of CMC. I am absolutely not scared about CMC. Even if CMC is way behind, people are like, well, the running back, rushing narrative, it don't matter whenever you're CMC and you get what, 70 receptions or something this year? I guess I mean 6 4 6 1 4, right? Like, does it matter that he doesn't have a lot of receiving yards, or that he did like one game? It's just CMC at the 102. I get that maybe you like you don't like that play. But fading that play, I think, is absolutely silly in my eyes. Let's go. Do we want to go? Let's just go McMillan here. I'm kind of getting close. Like, I was kind of dogging a little bit on Higbee yesterday. I'm a little more into that, and Gadsden after listening to a bunch of things today. I'm not saying that I'm fully in on Gadsden, but I was basically gonna be like 2%. I think I will be more like 6%. And I do think that I want all of my Gadsden with Justin Herbert though. So yeah, I'm only like the picks down the board, like all the way from Kyron to the 3 pick gets swapped around all the time, right? So not taking Puka and CMC when they rarely fall is crazy to me. Like James Cook and Barkley randomly fall to the second round. They don't usually fall far in the second round, but they go in the second round every once in a while. I just, and Josh Allen even, like I've seen him go in the third round, and I think he should be a 2-3 turn pick. Now McCaffrey, like his upside is so high, and even in a losing game, he can absolutely be the running back 1. I think that people not liking McCaffrey are people just plain scared or over analyzing a game script whenever, for him specifically, the game script doesn't really matter as much. Because he's going to be on the field all the time. He has insane usage, right? All right, so here's the first team, and we'll look at Alex's first team. Like anybody who does a draft here, I will review your first team. If you're doing something you really like, or something I happen to notice, like I was kind of deep in conversation, didn't even look at his team. I will review as well, but first draft I'll review, and then anytime you like want an opinion on something, go ahead and ask. But my team: Herbert to Gadsden, Nico McMillan, Ramondre Bringback, and Saquon Barkley. And Barkley is my favorite play in the slate, and I do think there's a solid chance that Barkley outscores CMC. But I do think that in a game, I think it's like, let's say it's 30% of the time that the Niners win. Let's say that it's that low. Anytime the Niners win, there's like an 80% chance that CMC is their number 1 point scorer. So, and looking at things today, I've been way over on George Kittle because he's just talent-wise the best tight end on the slate. I do need to look if Trent Williams play or practice today. Because if Trent Williams doesn't play, like I was listening to something today, and they were talking about how Philadelphia is insane against tight ends, and they've been all year. And okay, so he was half practice yesterday, so he'll probably play. But if he's not 100%, we're probably going to get George Kittle in blocking a lot. And Colston Loveland is on an absolute tear right now. So I'm probably going to be like 22-25% Loveland and like 20 to 25% Kittle as well. And then just mix everyone else up. That's my current plan. But I do think that in a game that the Niners win, like it's almost for sure, because of how good the Eagles are against tight ends, it's almost definitely CMC that's won in points on that team. And in that situation, you want your you want your CMC. If you're going to do a limited amount of drafts, I get it, making a stand, not taking CMC, but especially like over on drafters in full PPR. In full PPR, he's just the 101. Yeah, I did see that earlier today as well. And if you're just popping in, if you can smash the like, go ahead. That'd be great. Saquon is my favorite, but you can get him at the 104. I've got him at the 108. So like he is my favorite pick. I think I'm very comfortable going into this weekend with 35% Saquon. I was gonna fight it. I think I'm done fighting it. Yeah, I basically I want to end at like 10% Cook and 10% Josh Allen is what I've decided. And then whatever else happens, like I want over 30% Saquon, but under 40, like under 35%. And then I want to have like just a mix of all the other players. So I will probably do a draft or two to where I pull Nico up into round 1 to then take Josh Jacobs, stuff like that. I will probably mix some of that in. McConkey is my most drafted player for the playoffs, but I think they have a real shot at beating. A lot of people do. I don't mind that. I'm in on the Patriots to win, but even in a win, McConkey could be the guy. I've been leaning just drafting McConkey and QJ at equal amounts. I do lean McConkey having the better game, but if we're going to get the ownership difference with QJ being much less owned, I want them even at that rate. I hadn't been, and that was something I was going to go over today. We'll go ahead and do that right now. Let's go ahead and put that into the search bar. All right, so we'll go over weather real quick for the weekend after we get through the comments. Yep. And Wicks is officially out. Josh Palmer was, I don't think he practiced today either. What's up, Two Mules? Yeah, they basically stopped streaming completely. They haven't done any of the postseason stuff. They mostly focus on the week-to-week stuff, the weekly start sits questions, stuff like that. They don't get into the DFS as heavy as I did. I guarantee they'll be back whenever like the big board stuff drops, at least on drafters' side. But they both have families. They're probably just chilling with them, but everything's good from what I've seen. All right, we got rain in Carolina. I'm not really that worried about that. The Packers having snow and like this is interesting, like the 19-mile-an-hour winds in a game where like I think that leans Chicago to win the game, but I don't think that necessarily does a lot necessarily to either one. I still kind of like Christian Watson to get deep. Jordan Love has a strong enough arm. He can kind of cut through a 19-mile-an-hour wind. The snow showers, like if it's scattered snow, it's not going to be crazy. Like there'll probably just be like a little white in the air, right? Like just some flurries out there, and that's not going to really affect vision or catching the ball. So I don't think that one matters too much, other than the fact that the stronger running game will probably be slightly favored if you were to bet the lines. Then the Bills-Jags, no weather. This is the interesting one. It's 41 degrees, but snow showers. Number one, that don't track. Number two, that means it's going to be not snowy, but sloppy, right? Because if it does snow a little and it's 41 degrees, it's probably just going to get muddy more than it snow. But if it was a true snow game, I would love Saquon even more. And I think I like Saquon even more, even if it's like a muddy condition kind of game. The Patriots, Chargers, the snow I think favors the Patriots as well. I don't think we're going to get any like the amount of snow in any of these games based on these looks that is going to affect the game. We don't have any incredibly cold games. Everything is at freezing or above. Like the coldest is 31 degrees. That's not that bad, other than the fact that it is 19-mile-an-hour wind. It's probably going to feel like 14 degrees or something. And then the Steelers, Texans, supposed to be beautiful that night. So for me, there's really no weather concerns at all. And all right, back here, and we'll go through Alex's team real quick because I got sidetracked. He got Brock Purdy, CMC, Kittle. I want a couple of these in my portfolio, and I love the bring back with Devonta Smith there. And then Travion and Ladd, another game stack on top of it. I like that team. All right, we're going to go do a hurry up, and we're going to join in 10 seconds. So, no, that was kind of long-winded there, but that's my takes on the weather. But a lot of people are kind of getting in on Justin Herbert right now as well, and Coolers was kind of in on that. And something that's very interesting is his rushing line is 5 yards higher than it has been all season. All season, his rushing line has been at 24.5, even 22, 21 sometimes. It's 29.5 this week. So I do think they are expecting him to run a lot more. And if we look at how he's been running recently in these games that have mattered even more, 37, 42, 66. He's beat that line 3 times, right? 3 of the last 4 or 3 of the last 5, whichever one you want to look at. So I kind of really, really like that. And I do think that they're going to be behind a lot in that game. And I don't necessarily, like, if Hampton's not 100%, I do think they're going to run the ball. Like, not be able to run the ball as well. Not that I dislike Vidal, but I just think, number one, I think they're going to be trailing. Number two, even if they're winning, I think it's a shootout. I don't think that they win. I don't think they win a 14-17 game. I'm personally, I don't see that. We got Alex at the 101. I got the 103, my most disliked spot. Unless somebody takes Jalen Hurts at the 101. I don't think we're going to get somebody taking Jalen Hurts at the 101 here. I don't know. Are you going to surprise me, Alex? Are you going to surprise me? Are you going to take some Hurts? I think you want Jalen Hurts. As cooler. Yeah, and quarterback is so deep. That's why I have such a hard time taking Josh Allen in the first round. Like, if you ask me which quarterback is most likely to score 35 plus, the answer is Josh Allen. But if you ask me, like, how likely I think it is that anyone scores 35 plus this week, I'm going to say very low. I'm not that into it. I think we're going to get multiple big quarterback games, but I think it's going to be more like 25 to 28 points. I think we're going to get a couple 25 to 28 point games. Almost, I mean, if I can talk you into it, that's a win for me. And, like, back to the CMC at 2 thing. I do think, like, if you're not taking CMC at 2, Nez was talking about this today. Yeah, 35%, like under 10. I would say, like, closer, like 5 to 8% or something is kind of where I would put it. So I've been done a bunch of Barkley with Kittle, and I've built out a bunch of lineups like that. I'm not done doing that, but I'm definitely going to, like, I take Barkley all over the place, so I can get Barkley Kittle like pretty much whenever I want, right? But yeah, Nez was saying he really doesn't like the CMC play, and I understand that, and I could see like in a higher, like, not like avoiding it in the higher dollar ones. But if you're a volume player and you're, I think fading CMC is a mistake. Like, if you want to like slight fade him with like 10 to 12% instead of 17%, like that's fine, right? Like, but full fade, like if you want to full fade him, that takes more guts than I have. I actually massively avoid taking Hurts and Barkley together. And the only times I do it is with Kittle. Either with Kittle or Devonta Smith, because you don't ever get anybody coming back. We're going to go ahead and take Loveland here. I'm not that much into... I mean, I get that Jalen Hurts could be the quarterback one. I just think that unlike Lamar and Derrick Henry, Saquon and Hurts seem to be pretty opposed when they get big fantasy point games. At least this year they have been. Last year that wasn't as, like, last year everyone was scoring, right? This year they're scoring a lot less, so I think that you're going to get a lot fewer. I mean, this is a game that it could happen in, and I will take it. I'm going to say I'm probably about 8% Barkley plus Hurts, not 7, like maybe, like, of my Barkley teams, probably like close to 8% of them will probably have him. Like, I might do it here, I don't know. I'm gonna go with a Monday night showdown here, because I'm fine taking any of these any of these quarterbacks. I'm fine with naked Drake May. I'm fine taking Jalen Hurts. I'm fine taking T-Law as well. I feel like I'm underdrafting Packers severely relative to how wide open things are this year. The thing, I think I'm overdrafting Christian Watson relative to Jaden Reed and Dobbs. Watson's one of my most owned players, and I love. Yeah, these are the weeklies, and so yeah, we go ahead. I think we take him here. We could just scroll. We could just build out a full. Yeah, we'll take Jalen Hurts here. Yeah, no, we're doing weeklies today. I'm not as big on playoff best ball as everybody else. I've been very vocal about that. It's fun. I just think that there's so little variation in what you're doing. It gets stale very quickly. To me, like, I like to think through my drafts a little bit, and I couldn't imagine doing 200, 300 playoff best ball drafts. I personally could not imagine doing that. I'm doing Drafters Weekly. Just need tight end and flex. Draft Goddard. He went to my flex. You must have already had a tight end. Like, it wouldn't have done that unless you already had a tight end, right? I think this is the kind of team where I'm going to take a guy who I was just talking about. We're going to take Jaden Reed here. I don't mind the Romeo Dubs either, but I'm going to take Jaden Reed on this one. We got Jalen Hurts. We got Saquon. We're just getting 4 rushing touchdowns, no passing touchdowns, three from Barkley, 1 from Hurts, or 2 from Hurts, 2 from Barkley. And then a couple game stacks there. Alex, once again, built a solid team. I think Mitten 2 team level exposure ended up being like 8%. Packers, 8% Bears. I mean, the thing is I'm pretty out on the Bills, right? Like to win this week. And I'm pretty out on the Packers winning this week. But that doesn't mean that those pieces aren't good for advancing. Let's we're gonna do another draft. We're gonna do Wildcat and we're gonna join in 10 seconds. What's up, Steven? How we doing? I'll look at it later. I'm streaming. I'm not gonna be going through my Discord. I need to focus on things whenever I do it. We got Jay Baconator at the 101. I got the 106. We got Buster Boys here at the 105. They're another reasonably sharp guy. At least they draft all the time. Like they never do anything that's like insane. From what I've noticed. Yeah. Yeah, I heard that. Then I muted you because it bothers me whenever I get pings. And then I will remember to unmute you maybe later. Since you're here, I know you know. I mute every time I get a message, like a PM while I'm streaming. I either turn Discord off completely or I mute it. I mute every server. Every time I join a server, the first thing I do is mute it in all the channels. So like I don't like notifications. Like I can't stand notifications. I have notifications. I will never ask you to turn notifications on. If you want to ask me how to turn them on, I will tell you. But I despise notifications, and I will never ask people to turn notifications on for my channel. I will never do that. That is a you thing. If you would like to do that, that is fantastic. I don't like them, and I will never recommend them. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll go like I will go an entire day without even looking at my phone and miss like 3 calls. I leave my phone at home while I go do things. Let's do this. Let's go double receiver here. And like if it's an important call, somebody will leave a message. I'm usually at my computer, so if I get sent a message like on Messenger, which is how I generally communicate, I will have like I will see it sometime eventually. I live in my own little world. I know it and I enjoy it. So Baconator getting a little fall there. He gets a Puka Kittle, something I've been really wanting to get and I haven't been able to land it yet. That is super fun. I mean, I've got a Kittle in the 3rd round, so like I think I had a CMC Nico Kittle team or something. It was something like that. I know I had one where I had one draft where I got Nico at 14 with CMC. I can't remember what I took in this round. Might have been Jacobs, actually. All right, so we're going to take Travion. And we're going to take... I'm going to do a rare 3 wide receiver build here, I think. Yeah, we're going to do a... We don't do this often, but we're going to do a 3 wide receiver build. We're going to have the little bit of bring back there. And this is actually, like, I'm going to build out a Bryce Young team here. I haven't done it yet. I thought I had. I want like 3 or 4 Bryce Young teams out there. I think it's... I definitely want one with Puka. I definitely want one with Adams. And I probably want 2 with Puka, 1 with McMillan, 1 with Coker. And I don't know that 3 wide receiver is the right way to play it, especially full fading all of the round 1 guys. But I don't mind this path. Like this might not be the one where I take Bryce Young. Like if Hurts falls back, I'll just take naked Jalen Hurts and I will not complain. Or I will go Goddard Hurts. That will be perfectly fine. That would be fantastic to get Goddard and Hurts. But as we say it, it doesn't happen. This could be a... with the tight ends that are left, like... Well, I mean, what do we do, right? With the quarterbacks and the tight ends that are left, like I do think that this does have to become a Bryce Young or a Justin Herbert team. Which one do we want to do? You know what? We're gonna just go naked Caleb Williams. And Goddard, I guess. That's what we'll do. I don't love this team. Like, I probably should have went CJ Stroud there. That was my bad. I should have went Stroud and then Freiermuth. I thought of it too late. But we got Adams, we got Nico, we got Travion, we got Naked Caleb. And I actually think Naked Caleb should be done a little more than it is. We have McMillan and we have Goddard. So obviously this scenario is more like all of these guys get touchdowns, but none of the quarterbacks throw more than 3 or throw 3 or more. And they all throw 2. All low scoring games, and then Caleb Williams runs in a couple. It could happen. It's very, very thin. I don't love this. I don't really like it at all, but it will absolutely be unique. They don't like it either. It's only projected for 75 points. This is I definitely should have went CJ Stroud there. I think Goddard was fine, but I think Stroud should have been this pick. I don't even mind the Caleb Williams, the naked Caleb Williams. I don't know if I like it with 3 wide receiver. I think that if I want a naked quarterback, I think I want double running back after looking at this. All right, now that we made that mistake, time to correct that mistake in another Wildcat. And we will join it in 5 seconds. Since I clicked it like I was going to join it, I didn't say 10 seconds. We'll split the difference. Yeah, I am absolutely that way. We got the 105. There's red badges everywhere here. The next couple drafts, I'm going to go over to drafters. What's up, Steve? How we doing? you and I, sir, have completely opposite takes on the playoffs this year. It'll be fun. I think that a lot of the games are very. Oh, Lawsimo's in here. My bad. I missed you there at the 3-hole. I'm very out on the Bills, which you probably know. I'm very out on the Packers. I think you agree there. I also do agree, though, that the Steelers-Texans game, I think, is closer than people think. I do lean Texans, but it's going to be a very close game. I think there may even be more offense than people think in that game. At least on the Texans side. We got but I'm kind of a believer in the Broncos, so I don't think you win that many close games and you don't learn how to win along the way. It doesn't matter if you're against good teams, against bad teams. I think that that's a skill that you learn throughout the season. Every team has to learn it. The teams that learn that usually do better in the playoffs. And that's kind of why I like the Bears as well, to win in the playoffs. Now, I will admit the Bears are a much weaker team than some of the other teams that have ever been a 2 seed. Like that's just a fact. But yeah, those are my takes with how the playoffs are going to go. Yeah, and I pretty much agree with that. Yeah, we'll take Josh Allen here. Yeah. I mean, this is kind of how I feel about it. And the Packers, it's more like I don't like them at all against Seattle. If they win round 1, like for this format, I don't mind taking them against the Bears, right? Like I like in a 1 game, I don't mind Jacobs. I like Christian Watson a lot. I don't mind Jordan Love. Like I don't get to a lot of Jordan Love, but I don't mind it. And I think Jaden Reed and Dobbs are very good scrolls. I just don't like them to win a second game, assuming they play Seattle for sure. Like if they play Seattle or Philadelphia, I think they're absolutely toast. A playoff version of those teams. Like I can't see that in my own eyes, them winning that game. The Bears, I think I could see them beating either one of those teams. Because when their offense is cooking, they can beat anybody. And they've already done it against one of those teams in a very dominating fashion, right? So and maybe I'm wrong, like it's not a hate on the Packers as a whole. It's just I don't see the Packers going to Philly or going to Seattle, especially Seattle, and winning that game. So for this contest, I don't mind them. But for the playoff best ball stuff, I really don't like them. All right, we're going to... What do we want to do here? We're going to go with Swift, I think. Yeah, we're going to take DeAndre Swift. And I think, like, I've taken a lot of Christian Watson here. And I've taken a little bit of Parker Washington opposite there. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the bring back on Josh Allen first. We're going to take a player on this team that's very, very rarely drafted that I think should be drafted sometimes. So I'm assuming some of you may know, I think I may have taken him on Wednesday's stream. I think I have 1 share of him right now in 50 drafts. I plan on having 6% or so. And I think that this team will line out pretty well for that. Let's just say I'm planning on doing double scroll wide receiver. Obviously, I'm taking wide receivers, but I am planning to do double scroll wide receiver here. And if you know me, you probably know which 2 I'm talking about. One of them is somebody I've been kind of negative on. With that being said, though, I do think that if Juwan Jennings makes it here, I may just take Juwan. I really like Juwan opposite Barkley. If Trent Williams isn't 100%, like, they may be asking Kittle to stay in and block a little more. If that happens, I do think that Juwan Jennings is an absolute smash play. So I want to be slightly overweight to what the field is on Juwan Jennings. We'll take the guy I want first. We're going to take old Brandon Cooks because I don't really care if I get Jennings here. The original idea was to take Cooks and BTJ. But I think that I'm going to go ahead and take Juwan Jennings here. The Brandon Cooks scroll is plenty enough. And I like the Juwan Jennings opposite Barkley. And I really like I mean, I don't have BTJ that high. I think BTJ's ADP is correct. And I've been getting to less Ladd than I would like. He's a guy I'm going to probably focus here pretty soon, but I've also not taken as much Herbert as you have. I do need to diversify that out with my Travion stacks. I've got most of my other style of Travion teams, so I do need to make that a little bit more of my branch. We got Josh Allen at quarterback. We have Saquon Barkley, Swift, running back, wide receiver 1, Brandon Cooks, Juwan to stack with Allen. We got Brenton Strange bring back, and then Juwan Jennings opposite of Saquon. Lawsimo, first draft of the day with me. James Cook, George Kittle, T-Law, Watson, Myers, Woody, Marks. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty classic. James Cook, T-Law plus a receiver. You just pick one. I'm not getting to a lot of Woody Marks. It's probably a flaw. But we're over here. We're joining the splash on drafters. There are waiting on 3 right now. I have a pretty big tier break at T-Mac, then the next 5 to white. I haven't actually done like tier rankings on it. But like, I think those 3 are by themselves. I think AJ and Stephon Diggs are kind of by themselves. And then it's like Parker, Watson, McMillan, Devonta Smith. I don't think I've taken Metcalf yet. I'm very fearful of the matchup there. Like, very fearful of that matchup. I know people really like that defense is awesome, and that elite, I can't remember his name, but the elite corner is insane over there. So I put him in that group, but I put him at the bottom of that group pretty easily. I do think that I kind of think he's more in the next group with Metcalf, Myers, Ladd, Jennings, Burden, QJ. I think that's a tier, and then I think you get to scrolls. That's how I view it. Like, I think the ADP is pretty close. Like, I pretty much agree with the ADP fully, other than AJ Brown. being 11.2. I think he should be closer to 17. But with that being said, I'd basically swap Colston Loveland's ADP and AJ Brown's ADP. We got Kai at the 102. We got Steve-O at the 103. We got the 105. Yeah, Derek Stingley. Yeah, he's that. I know the name. I just slipped my mind. He's insane. They always have Petrie out there, like running the double coverage stuff. Did Steve intentionally take Josh Allen? I think he did. He was talking Josh Allen up pretty big yesterday. I think a lot of the quarterbacks score high this week. This is like the best possible scenario for me, for two people to be taking those players. We're actually going to not take ETN, and we're going to go Adams plus Barkley. And on drafters, I might end up doing some swaps to Kendrick Bourne late. Like, there's a lot of scroll receivers. And it'll be very interesting because so on drafters you could swap, and you can swap at any point. So I do think Nico Collins will have slightly higher value here, because if you want to play 4 first and you're rolling into Monday night and you need, like, Nico Collins can move you to like 3rd, but not to 1st. Like, he can move you to 5th, but not 1st. You can make that swap to Jaden Higgins and try to win that way, because you can look at other people's lineups and see what they're doing, and you can do that. And with this slate of games being scattered throughout the whole weekend, like, paying attention to all of that it's going to matter. It's going to matter a lot. I'm pretty in on Travion, and I'm pretty in on DeAndre Swift, but I also think that there's a pretty decent tier break here. So I'm going to take Colston Loveland, though. I'm pretty in on Colston Loveland this week. Like, I think it's very likely that one of those two is the tight end one. Yeah, I'm streaming a little earlier today. Got things to do with the family tonight. I assume that Fanspeak is doing something later. I'm assuming Degen dads are still gonna be live, even with the college game being on. But I will probably be watching the college game. I will turn them on if they're on during the game. I'm going to be like, so last night on Underdog, there were some wild rooms. Coolers and I got in some pretty good rooms during the game, and plan on running that back tonight. I'm going to draft the entire time that the games are going on. And so this is a team, like, if Ladd does make it all the way back, I'm going to take him. And drafters, as you see, they just have it projected by points, and you can see some, like, values here, right? Like, Metcalf still hasn't went, who I know I was talking negative, but, like, that's a fine thing. Juwan Jennings, I guess, like, he's more of a round 6 pick. That is correct. But you need more. You have to start 3 receivers. And running back is just as important here as well. So we're going to do the thing we were talking about earlier. We're actually going to take DK Metcalf instead of what we were talking earlier. Okay, so Steve has a show at Mega Steve at 5 to 7. I will be occupied for the first half of that, at least. I might be back in time for the second half, but I'll jump on whenever I can. And then Degens, and yeah, I figured they were live later. So part of the reason I will probably get more of my Metcalf on this site. I'll be more likely to take him because I assume that Jaden Higgins isn't going to go that often, and I'll be able to swap off of him reasonably often. I mean, what do we want here? I mean, this could... I think I just take Drake May, right? Since I can swap, I just take Drake May, and if I decide later that I want to make this, like, I go ahead and take Jaden Reed if he's there. Yeah, I'm going to take Jaden Reed here, and then I'm going to take Drake May. And if I feel like I want to swap this to a Caleb Williams team, I can just do that later, or a Jordan Love team. All right, quarterback, we have naked Drake May, or Drake May with Hendo. Saquon Barkley. Flex is DeAndre Swift. Wide receiver, Adams, Metcalf, Jaden Reed, and tight end is Colston Loveland. Steve-O, yeah, I mean, Adam Thielen still do, right? So, like, I mean, there are swaps. Like, you can get Jaden Higgins. You could do that. Like, I do think that having a flex there would be the best because Jalen Warren isn't like 100% drafted. And I don't know if Woody Marks went. Yeah, Woody went. Jalen Warren did go. But, like, he's not always drafted. So, I think if you wanted to go 4 receivers on this site, I think it makes sense. I had to get situated. I feel better now. All right, so Steve's team, Josh Allen, James Cook, Ramondre, Jalen Warren at flex, wide receivers, Devonta Smith, Juwan Jennings, Luther Burden, who I wanted to take, but I didn't like it with Swift and Loveland. If I would have taken him, I would have easily taken Caleb Williams there. George Kittle at tight end. I like that. And then Kai at the 102. Jalen Hurts, CMC, Kenneth Gainwell. Flex Shakir. That's fun. It is full PPR on drafters for those who don't know. Nico Collins, AJ Brown, QJ, and Hunter Henry. Maybe he was hoping to get... I think he didn't care. Like, if he really wanted Drake May, he would have taken him here instead of Shakir. I don't think he cared which one he got. But those are the teams. We're going to do another one over here on Drafters. We're joining right now. There are 3 spots. And then after that, we will go back over to Underdog and do 1 or 2 more. I do have to leave here in about 20 minutes. So 20, 25 minutes. And a lot of the sharps are out, so I don't really want to do too many of my drafts tonight or today, right now. Like, I was discussing that at the beginning of the stream, how in the afternoons, it's like all red badges every day. Well, like, so does last round Henry, right? Like, whenever Josh Allen went in the like, I'm never like on drafters. I will never take quarterback in the first round. Like, I don't think there will ever be a situation where I will tout quarterback in the first round on drafters. Just based on looking at results over the weeks, very, very rarely does the quarterback in the first round get there. Because if you get in sharper rooms, there's a lot of rooms to where Josh Allen will go in round 4. I was in one, I think my very first one I done, I think it was the second quarter. Like, the big thing was the 4-hole took Trevor Lawrence. I think the first one I done, Trevor Lawrence, like the second quarterback didn't go till like round 6 or something. So people push the quarterbacks down, and you just have such a better team. Like, if you get 3 rounds before a quarterback, and the weeks that I've won on drafters, I've basically got like, one of them was I got Josh Allen in round 6, which obviously is something that is a little unique. Screw it. We're going to go Davante Adams here. I don't like James Cook this week. I don't like I don't want all of my teams to be Saquon Barkley. So I'm probably just going to not end up with very much. It is full PPR over here. So I do think that that's probably better for Nico, not Adams. I think that does make, CMC the 101 and Puka easily the 102. But we'll go ahead and do Adams plus Jacobs. I get a feeling that will be not super done. Or maybe it will, because they have Jacobs projected for the most points. So some of the auto drafts, if they do auto draft, but they remove the quarterbacks, like they just move their quarterbacks down, that will pretty much get them to a lot of Josh Jacobs. And ETN is a play I like more than Josh Jacobs. And I do like ETN slightly more than Davante Adams. I was just feeling like taking Davante Adams there. No real reason. No rhyme or reason to it. All right, we don't. So Kittle does go there. I would have loved Kittle. Let's go. Let's go with Steph Diggs here. Bra says it's nasty here, 45 degrees and pouring rain. Supposed to. Yeah, dude. It hailed for like 25 minutes last night at like 2 a.m. to 2:30 a.m. where I live. It sounded like it was like 35 to 40 mile an hour winds with like hail for 25 straight minutes. There were probably tornadoes because I live in an area that happens. So thoughts on moving Rome up in ranks? Seems like he's good to go as a wide receiver 1 for the Bears when healthy. Their wide receiver 1 changes week to week, and him being out has let Luther Burden get a role. I think Luther Burden's the wide receiver 1 now. I don't really think it's that questionable, like who it is. But I do think that it's him, but I also don't think it's him by a lot. I think if you like Rome, like he's a very fine click. I have taken him already this week. The power went out as I was reading. That's great. Okay, that's good to know. Lane Johnson out. It would matter a lot more if the Niners had any healthy bodies, like any of them. If Hampton was ruled out, I wouldn't mind a Rome swap if Gainwell was already adapted. I mean, I think if Hampton is out, like if Hampton gets ruled out, I'm going to go to all of my drafters teams, and I'm probably going to move in Vidal. I did that last week, and it won me a little bit of money. So I definitely want one of those two. We're going to take Loveland again. I love the Loveland click. If Hampton comes back, I'm taking Hampton for sure. I like Gainwell a lot here. I was just talking earlier. I haven't gotten to a lot of Woody Marks. On Drafter specifically, I think I want to make sure to get some Corum and maybe some Tootin as well. This may be a team where I take Tootin. Maybe not. So we got but I think Blake Corum he's a play I haven't taken yet on underdog, but I think having a small exposure to him would like in a chalk, like if you're taking a massively chalk lineup and you need a late running back after you built out your normal picks, I think taking a Blake Corum makes some sense. And I think he had 80 yards versus the Panthers last time or something. So on Drafter specifically, I think Hampton is a much more fun click because you get the swap. Like if you hear he's going to be limited, you could swap. Like on underdog, you don't get that option. And I really like and having the Corum swap available makes some sense. When are the games? I actually don't know which game the Chargers, because the very first game is actually the Rams, right? But any game after this game you can swap to. I think it's the next to last game though. So he does go. Yeah. Yep, exactly. That's kind of where I'm at with it. Let's look at this whole lineup here. We're just going to go ahead and take Herbert, not mess around. Like, this is a lineup I don't mind taking him. I'm going to take one of those two if they come back around. Both of these players need a flex, so if those two go, and I'm also having an incredibly hard time with Rico Dowdle. They won in the first matchup, but the Rams have been decent at stopping the run the entire season. I don't see why it would be any different this time. And they have been using Chuba a little more recently as well. Yeah, that makes sense too. Liking Corum more on drafters. Like, if I like him 0 on underdog, well, number one, you have to like all the players more on drafters because you're drafting 2 extra positions. Right, like, or 3. You're drafting 2 extra positions. So I'm just going to do Corum here. We're just going to do Corum. We got Justin Herbert, Josh Jacobs, Hampton, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, Ladd McConkey, Colson Loveland, and Blake Corum. So we have Herbert to Hampton and McConkey. Stephon Diggs bring back. We have Josh Jacobs and Loveland back and forth. And then we have the Devontae Adams gets them way ahead, and Blake Corum comes in and saves like they end up resting Kyron for the last half of the game, and Corum absolutely smashes. Yeah, I was curious how it was going to work out taking Adam. Like, I think anything from the 3 to like the 12 is worthy of the 3 pick. I think that your lineups, like, I might like this a little more if it was ETN or Barkley here, right? But I think they all look very similar from the 3 to like the 12 pick here. I don't think there's a whole lot of difference. So we got brought here. Yeah, and it's a combo. Like, that's kind of why I brought Adams up, is for the combo situation. Jalen Hurts, Travis Etienne, Ramondre Stevenson, Dallas Goedert. Oh, he went double tight end. I don't mind the double tight end, especially in full PPR over here. Puka, Metcalf, Shakir. Yeah, I like this a lot. Yeah, I really like this. Both tight ends from that game, the bring back being Kittle. Yeah, this is a very fun team for sure. So Adams and Corum feel like the big players tomorrow game already. They're going to be leading. How do you feel about Kyron plus Puka or Adams but no Stafford? I think that's fine. I kind of think that any combination of Rams pieces is fine. I'm probably going to even build out a Tyler Higbee plus Blake Corum team at some point without Stafford. Like, you say they win, Stafford throws, like, everybody else gets a bunch of points, but they don't get the touchdowns. Higbee gets a reasonable game. Corum ices it away. They mostly score. Like, the only receiving touchdown is to Higbee, and everything else is yards. That's more of an underdog team that I don't mind doing. Which we'll go over Steve's team as well. Drake May, CMC, Kyron, AJ Brown, Jacoby, Luther, Higbee plus DeAndre Swift. Yeah, he's got the Higbee I was just talking about. He's very into Luther Burden. I think that's mostly because he's valued less. Like, I feel like, I guess he's not really undervalued because it is deeper, but the same amount of players basically get drafted, right? Because you have one less player with 6 less. So there's only 4 more players drafted every draft. It's just they're condensed into one less team. All right, so we're back over here. We're going to finish off with a Wildcat, and we're going to enter in 10 seconds. After this draft, I do need to get going. So this is the last chance. Lover Stroud could outscore Stafford. Yeah, I mean, every one of these quarterbacks could outscore Stafford. Like, even Aaron Rodgers could outscore Stafford. I don't think it's very likely, but Aaron Rodgers has proven he's defense-proof before. Maybe not with this cast of receivers, but that is a thing that has happened. I didn't do too many yet, but when you get the choice so often, I am trying to figure out how many times to do it. I'm basically like 1 out of every 3 times I'm presented with the Puka plus Kyron, I do it. I think like 30% of them might be too high. I ended up with a lot more Kyron than I thought I would have. I think splitting that off and actually doing like probably not 30%, right? It's probably more like 10%. Like, probably, I think the number I would want would be 10% of those players plus Kyron, and then like another 5% with Corum. I think would make some sense. We get the 102. We have Steve at the 104 and Alex at the 106. How's it feel to be at the back of the bus, Alex? How's it feel, guy? I've been stuck down there the whole time. Maybe Gunnar Ross is listening. If you're listening, thanks for listening. I've seen him in several of these. But yeah. I am not going to get to Rodgers, but I understand it. I have Bryce Young, Tet, Puka, Kyron, bring back team. I'm definitely going to do some Bryce Young bring back with a single piece from the Panthers. And I'm probably going to do, I may even do it with Jalen Coker a little more. How we doing, Kelly? Thanks for popping in. Hadn't seen you here for a while. I don't know if you listen normally, but thank you. What'd you think of Kelly was listening to our FFPC talk with Hartman and Candyman on Candyman's channel the other day. Did you think I was crazy? Like, I did not know that at the same time I was preaching full Bills fade. At that exact time, ship chasing, or basically 30 minutes before that, ship chasing was apparently, Ben Gretsch was saying the same exact thing. That, if you think the Bills lose round one, if you want to build a team where Bo Nix is captain, or he said Trevor Lawrence, if you full fade the Bills and take Trevor Lawrence, it kind of makes sense. I think just full fade Bills, if you think they're going to lose in round one, can make some sense. It'll be very, very, it won't happen very often. Not very many people are going to do it. So you're already unique, basically doing that. And lo and behold, Gretsch was trying to talk them into it, and they were all like, I actually think this is smart. So it made me feel pretty good when I was listening to it, and I'm like, well, I came up with this by myself. It doesn't mean it's right, and I do think it's thin, but you're trying to win a contest 16K, right? All right, we got so at this point, I'm always I don't know what to do, because in my eyes, it dries up so much right here. I might just pull up Devonta Smith here. We're just going to pull up Devonta Smith. I personally like Devonta Smith opposite CMC a little more than AJ Brown anyway. If Carolina beats the Rams, oh yeah, well, there's so many games like that, right? The Bears-Packers is the most pivotal game. Because the Bears-Packers game is where everybody's getting their projected points, right? So let's say the Bears win, but Kyle Monangai gets the 2 touchdowns and nobody else really gets points. Both teams that were drafted from the Packers and Bears for the playoff best ball stuff, all of them are dead, right? Because the ones that not a lot of them have Monangai, because he wasn't 100% drafted guy. So it's very interesting to me. We're going to go ahead and we were just talking up Quorum. We're going to see if we can't get Quorum back around. We're going to go ahead and take Jalen Hurts here. And I kind of like Dalton Schultz this week. I haven't gotten to a lot of them. I took a lot of Ramondre early, so I'm good on taking him for a little bit. I want to end about 10%. his usage hasn't really been that good. He's just got the touchdowns. He does get, like, the fact that he had 5 receptions in that game is wild. But they don't trust Travion to block, so he's in there on all the passing down. So he's I do think that that's going to become part of their offense from now on. And we'll take Corum if nobody wants to snipe. I also, if we knew for sure Hampton was going to play or going to not play, like, by time the game starts tomorrow, and I think Hampton will end up playing, but be more like a split. But yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. Like, pulling up Devonta Smith, the team doesn't feel that weak, right? What's up, Higbee, Corum? We could have done that. And I think Higbee Corum's a really good way to do opposite. Like, you don't take Matthew Stafford in that either. I'm definitely going to do that. I'm not sure when I'm going to do that. Thanks for popping in, Dirty. I appreciate it. I have to leave here very shortly. Basically, once this is over. Drafting Mittens, like, I've convinced myself that the Eagles or Rams are the only ones that can bid. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, I was drafting, like, I got pigeonholed into what I thought was going to happen. I did diverge some of my teams. And like, I did some things I didn't necessarily believe in. Like, I definitely took Josh Allen, James Cook every time I could. But that doesn't mean I believe in it. And like, I wanted to like the Broncos, but the way the draft board always fell, like, I ended up in a lot of Patriots instead of Broncos, just because I like the pieces up top a little more. And you have to kind of make the Broncos decision after round. Like, if you're taking Broncos, you kind of need NFC pieces up top, right? So if the AFC pieces are the only ones falling at the top of the draft, and most of the drafts I was in, the NFC pieces all got taken way high. So, but the team is Jalen Hurts, CMC, Blake Corum, Nico Collins, Devonta Smith, and Dalton Schultz. We got the CMC bring back on the Devonta Smith, Jalen Hurts thing. We have Blake Corum in an absolute blowout game leading the way. And then we have a double stack there with Nico and Schultz to where the passing game's there, but Jalen Hurts gets there because he gets the rushing stuff. But I have to head out. Waiting on somebody will be here in about 15 minutes, so I gotta make sure I get ready. I will probably stream tomorrow before the games. I'll probably go live somewhere around noon Central Time, maybe 12:30. I haven't decided yet. We will make that decision in the morning. Until then, I'll see everybody later. Good luck in your drafts. Peace.